You're listening to the Social U podcast, sponsored by Social University. Be sure to follow us on our socials listed in the show notes. Now, let's dive in.
Hello, I'm Laura Black. And I'm Becky Johnson. And welcome to the Social U podcast. Today, we are talking about working remotely, the pros and cons of working remote. And I feel like this was a pretty even list for me. I had like an equal number of pros and cons, but I will say, just to start out, that I do prefer working remote. Even if there are cons, even if my lists are the same size, I do prefer working from home. Okay. I'm going to go, my verdict is hybrid. Yeah, that's cool too. So, I don't know. Well, you want to kick off some of your pros? I want to hear this. And they're probably very similar to mine. So my first pro is personalization of workspace. I don't have to worry about the people around me not liking my desk or thinking my desk is too cluttered or it's too weird or that I have too many stickers on my computer. I can just personalize my workspace and I don't have to worry about anybody else. Okay. I wouldn't have thought about that. I get irritated at myself because I move everything around, but that could be a con. Well, it's everybody's obvious. It's everybody's. It's always casual Friday, unless you have to do business on the top and party on the bottom, or it's always wear your PJs to work day, at least on the bottom. So if we have a Zoom, we might have to look better, but there's something to be said for, being super cash. Agreed. Like the other day, we were on this together and I had on my nice shirt and my Mountain Dew shorts. So that was really nice. I mean, that's a win in anybody's book, right? Today, it's ripped up jeans day. Well, I still have on my workout clothes because I ran straight in from the gym. And where else can you do that? My next one is that I can talk loud on the phone or talk loud to my computer without bothering anyone. Anytime I'm at the office and I feel like I have to have a call with somebody or I'm doing a Zoom with somebody, you're talking out loud and everybody else is just sitting around you listening and being annoyed. So I really like that I can just talk freely without worrying about who's getting annoyed by me. You don't have to go find that little private conference room to have your chat or, that's great. Yeah, that's so true. Because I used to do customer service and we had those cubicles that were like half walls. If your neighbor was loud, you were just stuck. That's all it is. And it was a great job. I loved working there, but your little padded half wall only absorbs so much sound from your neighbor.
Right. And I'm sure it was super distracting trying to listen to the person on the phone and listen without wanting to the person in the next cubicle. Oh my goodness. I still, like when I'm on the phone, I can't listen on my left ear. I have to listen on my right ear because my headset always went on my right ear. And so even now I'm like, if I can't hear somebody, I turn my right ear towards them or towards the phone because that's my listening ear and I'll plug the other one. I think it's residual from 20 years ago, but yeah, it trains you. It does. There were perks of that too, but yeah, I'm with you on that. And I would say the second obvious, because I have to say it out loud, obvious reason is it's always bring your pet to work day. Oh yeah, always. Of course, mine's in a kennel right now because she'd be wanting to join in, but you can always have your furry friend with you. That's the good thing about having lazy cats because they don't want to interfere. They just want to be close. So my little lazy cats are just sitting around me while I do my work. So they don't want to like lay on your keyboard? They don't. They used to try, and I think I have finally gotten them trained to lay beside me, not on the keyboard. Although right now it's so beautiful outside, finally, that they're laying in the windows today.
Oh, perfect.
I really like that.
Everybody's going to have a good day.
So kind of along those same lines, I'm going to say my next one is that it's always bring your kid to work day. So when I used to work outside of the home, in the middle of the day, if I really started missing my kid, the best I could do was get my phone out and look at a picture. But now I can just yell, hey, come here. Or I can go downstairs to them and I can have lunch with my kid.
That's so awesome.
Or kids, plural, as the case may be.
And we only have so much time with them. And The older I get, the more I realize that. And that time's precious. So that's great. I love summer break. I know a lot of parents don't. I love when my kids are home. I just think it's great. And I have one in college and one at home. And so I know that time with them is fleeting.
I love when my college kid is at home for the summer. It's like my favorite thing. But my younger kids, towards about that 3rd month mark, I'm ready for school to start back. I'm like, my house needs to be clean at least one day. Right. And they do not help with that.
What? They're so cute, though. They make up for it.
They are adorable. But I heard somebody say once, and it's completely true, that cleaning house when you have a bunch of young kids in the house is like brushing your teeth while eating Oreos.
I've heard that. That's perfect.
Like you do it because you have to, but it's kind of pointless.
No, so true. So true. Oh my goodness. And along those lines of good things and staying at home, you can't beat the commute time. No traffic for any day. I mean, the worst is the internet goes out or something like that, and you have to reboot.
And think of the money you save on gas,
right?
Not just the time, but the amount of gas. And especially with gas being as expensive as it is these days. Wow.
No kidding. No kidding. And what region of the country you're in? I mean, I'm glad I don't live in California because, man, the last I saw was 7 something, and I can't imagine. I
go to LA once a year, twice this year, actually. And it was shocking to see the gas prices because I thought they were high here in Ohio, but they are nothing compared to California.
Yeah. And I'm in Texas. I think we're hitting 319 right now, which is still a lot. I don't know about Ohio, but
I miss those 99 cents a gallon days.
Right. I know. I was laughing with my dad the other day. I was like, hey, what's the lowest you ever remember gas being? And I think he said 25 cents. He may have said 10, but I think he said 25 cents a gallon. It's like, well, I remember 99, 98, something like that.
I was talking to my teenagers about like how much money they make at their jobs. And they were shocked to find out that at my very first job, I made $4.25 an hour.
Yep.
They were just like, what? What?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, less than $5 an hour.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Save your money, people. And I don't know what servers make now, but I know you get tips, but I can remember your base pay when I used to wait tables was like $2.13 an hour.
Man, that's tough. Incentive to be a good server.
Right. And I will say I made more at that job than at a lot of jobs I had when I was younger.
Well, I can see that with your personality, you'd be taking care of everything and your skills, and I'd want you for my server.
Shout out to the Olive Garden.
That's right.
For funding the first several years of my marriage.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, my last one was working remotely is less distractions. I would probably, if I was in the office all the time, I would have to hang a sign on my chair that says, don't talk to me because I can't handle my social skills. But because I'm so excited to see people. And I know Caryn probably is laughing because when I come to the Social U office, which is twice a year, I struggle to get things done because I'm so happy to be there. And I just want to talk to everybody. So I know I would get into a rhythm as I have at other jobs, but I think I need that sign for a while. Laura's working. Please don't distract.
See, I feel like I was that way when I lived in Alabama and we would do office days once a week. I feel like if I was there every day, like you said, I would have gotten into a rhythm. But when you're only there once a week and that's the only time you get to see grown people and your friends, you want to talk. So I totally get that.
Yeah.
So what's funny is, my first con is distractions. Because my kids want to come and show me things, which I love. But when I'm in the middle of working, it's also a distraction. Also, if I want to go get something to eat, my kitchen is right downstairs. That can be a distraction. I've got the cats that come up to me and want to be fed. Just literally, I will be sitting in my room like I am right now and look over and be like, wow, look at all that laundry. I'm going to go put a load in. Like, all the distractions. So I feel like I am super easy to distract when I am at home and I have to really focus. So normally what I'll do is I will literally just put a timer on my phone and do an hour at a time and be like, okay, from 10 to 11, I'm going to work for an hour and I'm not going to do anything else. And then maybe I'll take 15 minutes. And then I'm like from 11:15 to 12:15, I'm going to work. And I set the timer and then I just do not let myself do anything until my timer goes off.
That's so funny you said that. That's on my list too. Because you've got all these distractions and you really want to, your kid needs the baseball outfit or uniform after school, or you need this or whatever. You're right there. Oh, let's take a second. Well, those seconds add up and then all of a sudden you haven't got anything done and you have these deadlines you're trying to meet. So the dog wants out, all of the above. What's for dinner tonight? Oh, I can get that started. No, you have things to do. That's so true. And I love your timer thing because I do kind of the same thing. I used to use the Pomodoro timer, the tomato timer, because it does like 55 minutes of time and then it gives you a 5-minute break. And then I think it's 4 cycles. And on the 4th cycle, you get a 25-minute break. So if you sit there and you stick to that, you can get a ton done. And I'd kind of forgotten about it. And one of our favorite people, Lisa Shuck, she posted that on LinkedIn the other day about the Pomodoro timer. And I was so glad she did because I'd forgotten about it. And so I got it out last week and it's just such a game changer if you get distracted like I get distracted. I'm sure it's not perfect for everybody, but I started that back up again last week and it's so helpful. It's so helpful.
I need to try that because I have not used that one.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you're this way too. I'm kind of neurotic about my timing. So if I have to go to the bathroom, I will pause my timer.
Me too.
But I would never do that if I was at the office. I would just go to the bathroom. But when I'm at home, because it is so easy to like let things get away from you, I'm like, I'm going to push pause right now. And when I come back, I will unpause because Caryn's not paying me to go to the bathroom.
Right. And I do the same thing. And sometimes I have to go, oh, shoot, I didn't turn it off. Okay. How long do I think I was in there and estimate? And I don't like that. I like black and white. You know that. I like my line. So that's funny. I would also say it goes also right along with that. It's hard to set the boundaries. Yeah. And I know we talked about boundaries before, but using those timers and all those kinds of things, they are so helpful to help you stay within that boundary that you set for yourself to get all this stuff done. It's hard to do, but if you do it, you can be successful. So
I feel like, that's one of the ones that I have as a con. And this is not anybody's fault but my own. But I feel like when you work from home, there's kind of this feeling from your clients and me to myself that I am just always on call because I live at my office. So if somebody needs something at 8 p.m., I'm probably just going to do it. And I will work at weird hours, which is also a pro. But if I need to get work done and I can't get work done all day because we've had crazy stuff going on, well, 8 o'clock, my kids are going to go to bed and I'm going to work until 1 a.m. and then I'll just sleep in the morning. But I kind of feel like I have trained myself to always be on call where I'm just always doing something. So I don't really feel like every week I get a whole off day. And I've really been working on that where I'm going to say, okay, Tuesday, I'm not doing anything. And I'm just going to do what I need to do on Monday and what I need to do on Wednesday so that I can take Tuesday off. But I'm really bad at that.
And I think that's one caveat we should note, that the way we work is contractual. It's not exactly set desk hours. It's not like we have to sit and do customer service on the phone from 8 to 4 with a 30-minute lunch break. So we're lucky that we can do that and we can be flexible. And that's one of the really great things I like about working remote too, is that our time is flexible and we can make it work around our schedule. So I guess that's another tick for the pro column, but I'm with you. And the other thing, everybody thinks you have tons of time because you work from home. That's definitely a con.
No, I'm still working. I'm just working while sitting in my bedroom.
Yeah, because it's a quiet place and I'm getting it done. Yeah.
If you're wondering, you can actually ask me what I've done and look at the list and see I have taken hours out of my day to do things. But they're like, well, you were just at home all day.
I still have to earn that paycheck. Goodness.
I was at home all day working.
For sure.
So another one that goes along with working from your bedroom that I have is I have terrible posture. Because do I have a desk in here? Yes. Do I use it? Almost never. Like right now, I am sitting on my bed. I have a laptop. I'm sitting on my bed. Sometimes I will sit in my recliner. Once in a blue moon, I will sit at my desk, usually if I'm having like a meeting with a client and I want to look professional. But normally I'm just like going to be sitting on my bed or sitting in a recliner, and it makes my posture terrible. And if I were working in an office, I would be sitting in a chair with a back on it and my posture would not be so bad.
I notice sometimes, like along those lines, if I have on, it depends on what I'm wearing. Like if I know I'm going to meet somebody that works in a corporate environment and all of that, I will dress up, put more makeup on, more jewelry on. I kind of dress for the meeting, which I mean, I guess makes sense for anything that you do, but even on Zoom, and I may have on good shoes too, because it's something mental about getting all the way down to the shoes for me. Even though I'm not there in person, I need to mentally prepare myself. Yep. I'm actually barefoot right now because my feet were hot from the gym. So
I'm barefoot because I'm sitting in my bed.
that's funny. Well, my last con that I had was, and this is probably the main reason that I said originally that I love the idea of hybrid, was because of personal interaction. Because I love talking to you guys on Zoom, but it is not a replacement. It's kind of like a big faker. It's harder to Zoom. I know during COVID, we all hit Zoom and we were all starting to figure out it's just hard because you're not in person and you're trying to talk and read all these cues on a computer screen and, get things accomplished. And you're working overtime, really. Your brain's working harder. You're doing all these harder things and it's exhausting. It wears you out faster, but there's something about being together. And I think that being together, Caryn's really good about this when we can all finally get together, like have a work lunch away from work because it's team building and it's encouraging. And there's just something about that physical connection, even if we're just sitting across from the table at lunch or in the office. And Caryn's really good about fostering connection among our team, even on Zoom. It's just, I think if I could go hybrid, I definitely would. So,
Yeah.
Anyway, I love to be in town. I just never am. So
I think it's time to bring in Caryn and see what she thinks. As somebody that has to manage all of us crazies from home,
right?
What is it like for her? What are your pros and cons, Caryn?
We're a hot mess.
It's delightful. I feel like we have the best team ever. I love office days because I like to be around our other team members. But just like Laura said, time flies when you guys are hanging out together because you talk about this, that, or the other, and then all of a sudden it's 2:00, which is crazy. We have weekly team meetings through StreamYard, which I think helps foster a sense of community for everybody to see each other once a week and talk to each other once a week. But yeah, I love the twice a year where we can all get together. I look forward to that. It's one of my favorite things. But I'm sitting here maybe in the ugliest pants ever, in my dining room having a meeting. So you can't beat it. Do I sometimes do laundry while I'm working? Absolutely. Or I go turn on the crock pot? Absolutely. Because. And I might have a teeny tiny problem unplugging.
Don't we all?
Say how wonderful it is to work for a place where you actually like office days and miss office days. Because any other office I have ever worked in, it has not been that way.
Yeah. And I'm adamant about you guys not doing it, but I'm the worst. Like I've logged in. I've seen Laura and logged in and said, stop it.
Like, well, I was busy today and I had an appointment. My kid had this and that. So there's the beauty of remote.
I'll be working really late at night and I'll text Caryn a question, not expecting her to answer back or be awake and just answer me in the morning. And she'll be like, why are you working? Go to bed. Like, this is the time I have, Caryn. What is your biggest con from working remote, Caryn?
I've been doing it for so long. Great question.
I'm just going to guess not getting to see our beautiful faces every day.
Yeah. I really like connecting with the team. We do that once a week. But I guess the biggest con is I really, really have to struggle to turn off. I am going to take more vacation time this year. And my son has basically challenged me to not log in. I'm like, I can totally do that. He's like, yeah, we'll see.
Totally.
I don't know that you can, but I am either. I'm rooting for you.
How dare you? Yeah, I probably can't, but I'm going to try really hard.
We'll just change all your passwords. So then you really can't. We'll hijack your accounts. Well, let me ask you this then. How do you think it affects working with clients and meeting clients.
You have to set those boundaries because there are people who will call you at 5 in the morning and 11 at night, and they don't care. I have one client who will call me after hours because that's when he's available, and I know that, and that's fine. But for the most part, you have to make sure that your clients understand your boundaries. Now, it's social media, so everybody, and I do love the fact that we work in shifts. Like we have weird early morning people and then we have late night people. So there's always somebody available.
Why'd you say the early morning people were weird? I mean, just saying.
I agree.
Weird. Anybody who loves getting up at 6 a.m., it's obviously broken in some way.
I was just harass you because you know that's not me.
People like Laura that get up and go to the gym in the morning. Whoa.
That's because I'm desperate, and only because I have a friend. My dear friend meets me there, and if she's not going, I'm not going.
Yeah, it's
I mean, let me keep it honest.
Because you're so accessible, you have got to tell your client, this is just not a good time where I'll respond to you. And a lot of times I won't respond at all because I don't want them to think I will respond after hours.
Yes. Yeah. And if you are my client and you are listening, you can send me an email 24 hours a day.
Yes.
Just email me whenever. And when I'm working, the first thing I'm going to do is check my email.
Even the text is okay. Just don't expect a response until the morning.
Have you seen your signatures where it's like, I don't work specific hours, so I'll respond when I can. Don't feel compelled to respond if I contact you after hours. I love that. Love that signature on. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Then people don't feel pressured. Like, oh no, they just asked for this right now and I have to answer right now.
Yeah.
If somebody messages me today, it's not going to be 2 days from now before I message them back. It'll be tomorrow at the latest. But I do like to have the option to not answer them at 7 p.m. while I'm having dinner with my family.
Now, some of our team members, Laura, will get a text or an email after hours and immediately want to jump on it. I'm like, no.
I'm a pleaser, though. And I have to tell myself not to do it, too, unless it's, of course, an emergency. But thankfully, we don't have many of them.
Yeah. I mean, it happens. But in the last 15 years, I think we've had 3 legitimate after-hours emergencies that had to have activity immediately. It's just very rare.
Well, how do you think, too? How do you, like you're meeting with a new client, do they seem to care that we're mostly remote? Or are they happy with Zoom?
They don't care.
That's awesome.
As long as you get the job done, they don't care. And it is the world we live in now. I think that was one of the benefits, if there were any benefits from COVID, is that remote has become the new standard. So people kind of expect it. And I like it because a lot of times when I do training, I like to do it from Zoom, not because I don't want to go on site, but because I can record it for future reference for the client, which benefits them greatly. So
now, not to give away all of our secrets, because I'm sure some of our clients are listening, but I don't usually tell my clients that I work remote. That way there's like an understanding maybe that even though it's unsaid, I might have office hours. So I don't mention it unless they ask.
I'll tell people, like, because I get that. They do feel that question often. Where's your team? We're scattered all over the country. We have a Texas, an Ohio, a Tijuana, a Gadsden, a Boaz, a Tuscaloosa, and a Hoover, and a Calera. And that's okay.
And a Chelsea.
Oh, yeah. I want her to live in Calera so bad. Every time we talk, I'm like, you're going up 280. She's like, no, I am not.
I mean, Calera has a train museum. How fun is that?
That's true. There's some good perks.
If you're into trains, super fun.
If you want to take your kid on a day out with Thomas,
there is that.
Or the Polar Express.
Oh, wow. Flashbacks. We had so much Thomas in this house.
Oh, yeah.
But no Caillou. Caillou's the worst.
I just was talking with a friend about that. We were afraid if our kids watched Caillou, they'd be obnoxious.
My kids watched Caillou, but I feel like it had the opposite effect because they were like, I don't want to be like that kid.
Yep.
So this week in social media, I'm going to talk about something that did not happen this week, but something that happens all the time. But I just brought out the most popular example of it. So constantly on the internet, someone is falsely being reported as dead. That is not, in fact, dead. So one of the more famous ones is on the artist formerly known as Twitter, now known as X. Rotten Tomatoes posted about honoring John Carpenter's memory or something on his birthday. And then he responded with, to Rotten Tomatoes, despite how it appears, I'm actually not dead. I thought it would be fun today if we played a little game where I named a person and you have to tell me if they're dead or not dead.
Oh, fun. Okay.
Wow.
And some of these will probably be easy for you, but some are probably going to be difficult because some of these were difficult for me. Okay. You ready?
Yep.
Mel Brooks, dead or not dead?
I'm dead.
Not dead. Yeah.
Correct. John Hughes, dead or not dead?
Who? John Hughes?
Not dead.
Is that what you said? John Hughes?
John Hughes.
I don't know.
John Hughes of Breakfast Club.
I don't know.
And wonderful Pretty in Pink, the John Hughes. Yeah.
He is, in fact, dead. Bob Newhart.
Oh, alive.
Alive.
He is alive. Peter Jackson.
Alive.
Y'all are so good at this. Kirk Douglas.
Alive.
Dead.
He is dead.
He is?
He
But
is.
how old did he get?
103, I think.
Yeah, I was like,
He was
he was
really old.
Yeah.
What? Dudley Moore.
Oh,
Wait,
okay.
what?
I'm gonna say he gone.
He is gone.
I hadn't thought about him in a long time.
Me neither.
Dick Van Dyke.
Oh, he's alive.
He is alive and kicking. He
How old
is
is he?
living his best life. He's 90 something.
That's awesome.
Like 97, 98. Like he's in the upper 90s.
Mary Poppins.
George Lopez.
Alive?
Dead.
He is alive. See, these are hard because it's people you haven't thought about in a while. Natalie Cole.
Dead.
Alive.
She is, in fact, dead.
No longer waiting.
We're so bad at this.
See? Liza Minnelli.
Alive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He is alive. Jimmy Carter.
Alive.
Nope. He is alive. I also thought he was dead because they kept talking about how sick he was.
Right. I did too. Well, he's really
And
sick.
how he was on like death's door and like he's still going.
Wow. I didn't realize that. Okay.
Dennis Hopper.
Oh, alive. Crazy and alive.
I don't know.
He is, in fact, dead.
Laugh.
Finally, Caryn got one wrong.
John Malkovich.
Alive.
Alive.
He is alive.
Oh,
Bill Hader is the best John Malkovich impression of all time.
he can do such a creepy. Oh,
The
Bill Hader.
last one, Gene Hackman.
Oh, he's alive.
I'm
No, wait. Gene Hackman is not alive.
gonna say alive.
He is alive. So that's really hard. And like some of the scammers with the clickbait you'll see on your Facebook feed, there'll be an article and it'll be like, oh no, prayers for Justin Bieber's family. Can't believe he's gone so soon.
Yeah.
I'm on desperate every time. She's like, have you seen this? I'm like, Kate Middleton was kidnapped. She was not kidnapped.
So I have a moment. She's okay.
I have a friend in Birmingham named Jerry. And anytime a celebrity passes away, I text him so that he knows. I'll just be like, RIP OJ Simpson, you know? And it's like our thing. That's like
the example ever.
well, it just happened.
It just died.
So like that's one of our friend things, which I realize is kind of morbid and kind of weird. But there have been like one or two times where I've started to send him something because I've seen it in my newsfeed. And then I've been like, wait, I need to go check this because this may not be true. And most of the time when I get that feeling, it's not true. And then anytime I'm like late. So the other day I was working all day and I didn't realize OJ had passed until like late at night. And I was like, you probably already know, but RIP OJ Simpson. And he's like, I'm so disappointed in you. I'm beginning to wonder if you even care about this anymore.
Okay, so what? We're gonna show our age. What's the first thing you thought of when you heard OJ Simpson died?
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
I went, white Bronco.
Yeah. There's a whole generation of people who don't know he was a football player.
Right? I remember being glued to the TV for that low speed chase.
Me too. Becky was talking about weird texts back and forth specifically to make a point during office day. I sent her the text with no context. I sent her the text. Once I rose above the noise and confusion, she knew what it was immediately.
How would I not? I'm so proud, Becky, because I have no idea what that means.
If you watched Supernatural,
Oh, yeah.
you would know.
Yeah, that's Kansas.
Did I hear there's a reboot? A Supernatural reboot?
They're
Not
threatening it, but yeah.
I don't want to reboot. I don't want us to mess with what we have.
I'm so salty about season 15. There's no going back.
Are you guys ready for our social media hotline of the week?
I am.
Hit it. Yeah, hit it.
Social media hotline. Okay. You missed a meeting because the person you were meeting with didn't send you a calendar invite. Are you an adult? Yeah. Got a job? Yeah. Pay rent? Yeah. You can keep up with your own calendar. Okay. Okay. You call me after you do that. Okay. Bye-bye.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, if you're a grown person and you are relying on calendar invites to keep up with your schedule, you are adulting wrong. Yeah, it's true. You have responsibility for your own schedule. I don't even pay attention, honestly, when somebody sends me one. Like when I get one, I pay attention at that moment to be like, oh, I have a meeting at that time. And then I set my own reminder for myself and forget that I ever got that email.
It's surprising how many people do rely on that. I mean, I get that it's nice to have it on your calendar and all connected, but so many people do rely on it.
If I'm setting up a meeting with you, 10 out of 10, I'm not sending you a calendar invite because I don't think about that. So sorry if you miss your meeting with me because I did not send you a calendar invite.
It happens all the time. I didn't get a calendar invite. I'm like, I'm not your mama. Come on. If I have to send a link, that's one thing. But if we're just scheduling like a follow-up call, I shouldn't have to send you a reminder.
Unrelated, but related. When I worked at the Olive Garden, my mom worked there and my brother worked there. And one day the kitchen just kept getting trashed, right? And they hung up a sign in the back that said, clean up after yourself. Your mom doesn't work here. And me and my brother were like, she always told us she was our mom. Are we just finding out the hard way that this is not our actual mother?
When I worked retail, I ran the front line for a location for a while and we were getting ready to open. And one of the cashiers was behind that we were working and just everybody was congregated right there. And she dropped something and didn't pick it up. And I'm like, hey, your mom lived close by? She said, yes. What'd she look like? She's describing it. And they knew what I was doing. Everybody but her knew what I was doing. She look anything like me? I said, no. I'm like, I ain't your mama. You need to pick that up.
I mean, when my 5-year-old drops something in the floor and doesn't pick it up, it makes me crazy. How do grown people do that?
Yeah, I don't know.
How are you grown and you drop something and you just leave it there? I cannot.
Yeah.
That's funny. Funny, not funny.
Sippin Social Tea for this week. This one is not as funny as it is frustrating because we've all felt this way. If you work in digital marketing, you have felt this way. This person says, love having my work experience and expertise denigrated by being told to spend an hour training any available staffer on how to do my job. Yeah, let me just take an hour and train anybody who has zero experience on how to do everything I know how to do and all the knowledge in my head. Yeah, that'd be great.
I've said this before. I'll say it again. I lucked out because I got to learn each platform as it launched. But being a social media manager today would be, to me, just vastly overwhelming because there's so many platforms to learn and there's so many applications to learn in order to post on those platforms and so many logistics you have to know. It is not the same game as it was 10 years ago.
And to be clear, posting on your personal account is very, very different from posting on a brand account. And it may be easy to build your personal account, but you can't use those same tactics most of the time with a brand account.
Right.
If you're a 25-year-old girl that posts bikini pictures all the time and you have 30,000 followers, that strategy is not going to work for a plumbing company. It's just not.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
I mean, we've never tried it for a plumbing company.
Well,
And we probably won't.
It's horrifying. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Do you have any parting words for today, Caryn, that you would like to leave us with before next week?
Best team ever.
Yay.
I think it's very difficult to be cohesive when you're remote, and you guys do such a good job with that.
Hey, and if you're listening to this and you're like, I am part of the worst team ever, get some mad ninja skills and then send Caryn a resume. Who knows?
That's true.
You never know.
Thanks for listening to the Social U podcast, sponsored by Social University. We'll see you next week.